On this episode, we're bringing Raph back. Shoulder.
Okay, before we get started, let me give you a little flashback, because I basically acted like it was the second coming of Christ when I first did this mod, so listen in for a second.
Time has come, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Alright, stop right there. So, the fatal flaw was that, for one, I did it with a 3-player control panel because I converted a Rampage, and the second fatal flaw was that there was no Raphael. I know, guys, I know, I heard you. We can't do Raph like that. I get it. We're gonna fix it, don't worry. Alright, we got this. Let's just get right into it, okay?
Hey guys, welcome back. So you're probably wondering, why are we standing in front of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet? This is old news. Arcade1up already announced it. They did, but it's not available yet, is it? So I had done a modification as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cab before, but it was a 3-player Rampage that I converted to a 3-player TMNT. But I left out Raphael. I mean, the lights are there, the buttons are there, except if you hit Raphael, you got Donatello. So, you know, needless to say, Raph wasn't that happy about that. So we're gonna bring Raph back, like I said. So before we get started with that, I did want to talk about something. So 1UP didn't put a lit marquee on the new one, and I'm not gonna let 1UP 1UP me. So we're gonna light this thing up, because it doesn't have a lit marquee and we need it. So we're gonna put one on it right now. So anyways, we're gonna do that first. But before we get to all that, wow, that was really aggressive. But before we get to all that, we are going to talk a little bit about the control panel. So I don't have the time to cut all the wood out and do all this stuff right now. I just don't, with my day job and everything else. So luckily there's a company out there, 99 Lives, that creates these control panels, and they can ship them with as much stuff on them as you want, or with little stuff as you want. So I happen to get it bare bones. I just got it with the holes, and yeah, I just got it just like that. And then I figured I'd put my own buttons and joysticks and everything like that. But the really cool thing is he's partnered up with Tyler over at Arcade Graphix. So there's a whole section dedicated to his control panels, so you can get that artwork and everything for it. So it's awesome. But anyways, we're gonna talk more about that in a minute. But let's actually go and upgrade this marquee. And the cool thing is I finally got one of those Blackout marquees by Arcade Game Factory. So we're actually gonna use the Blackout one on this one. So I'm excited about that. I've never done that before. So we're gonna check out the Blackout marquee, get that done first, and then we're gonna really dig into this control panel.
All right, guys, let's get this old marquee out of here. So it's really 2 screws, one on each side, and then potentially, if you haven't removed them before, there's 2 that hold the monitor mount to the marquee as well, and you're gonna need to remove those if you haven't already. Okay, I literally can never remember the name of this back plate right here, but it's that back plate below my 2 speakers. You're gonna wanna loosen this up on each side. Don't fully remove it, just loosen it, because otherwise you can't get the marquee out. I don't like to have to take apart the whole cabinet, so this avoids that. So basically, the cabinet has a little bit of flex on it. You just loosen each side, and then you should be able to pull out of the front of the marquee without any problems. All right, so I'm gently gonna try to flex the side of the cab and try to pull out this marquee without, pulling on it too hard. You gotta be careful, because that back plate in the back, with the speakers on it that I have, will actually fall out if you loosen it too much. So just be careful, and you can make it out of here, no issue. So there you go, see? And actually that back plate did move a little bit, so I'm just squeezing that back together right there. Now we're gonna hold on to this, because in the Blackout design you actually take that bottom bracket and stick it onto the acrylic that he sends you, because he doesn't have the bottom bracket on the new marquee that he sells. So we're gonna need to take that off, but we'll do that here in a minute. Alright, so here's the Blackout marquee. It's basically the same acrylic marquee except without the bottom bracket. So you're gonna need to take the bottom bracket off of our old one and put it on this new one. So it looks like this is just how you assemble it once we get it all together. But we're going to unscrew the back plate off the old marquee, and we're going to screw it onto the new one. Be careful to take all of this protective coating off. And then there are included screws. Use the included screws when you put on this piece, not the ones that you took out. So you'll notice there's 3 of them in that packet. Use all 3 of those. You should be able to line these up real nice because they have pre-drilled holes, and you're done. Okay, so this step you're going to want to be careful for. So basically the Marquee graphics were a little too long. So they were longer than the Marquee, so I was going to install it and it wouldn't actually fit. So what you're going to want to do is actually put the Marquee graphics on the ground and then put the Marquee over it and sort of press it down, and you're going to want to take your X-Acto knife and shave off the access. Otherwise, what you're going to end up with is a Marquee that won't fit. So the graphics just won't fit in there. This was a little bit harder because Tyler used this almost like photo quality paper, which I'm not used to. It's usually just a regular vinyl or some kind of like just translucent vinyl, but this was something different. So you're seeing me struggle here because it looks like the acrylic was actually like it was not cut all the way. So I'm actually using the X-Acto knife to actually cut some of the acrylic in order for me to actually properly shave this excess off. But anyways, just be careful. If you haven't done this before, it's similar to putting on graphics on a cabinet, but you just have to be a little bit more careful than that, just so that you don't mess it up. So once we're done here, we should be good to go, and then I'll show you how to install it from here. Okay, so a little tip, if you put those graphics on a table, then they're going to pick up some dust and dirt and stuff. You're going to want to clean the graphics off first, because otherwise when you sandwich this piece in front of it, you're going to end up with some dirt that will not ever get out of there. So you got to take these little brackets, make sure your graphics are aligned well, sandwiched between that plexi. Put that little thing on, it's got some double-sided tape, you just tear that off, and then those little L brackets just go right on, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Now, something that I'm not happy about is for some reason the side holes are not drilled, and this is acrylic, so drilling directly into acrylic is really difficult. Okay, so apparently this video is turning into a Marquee installation video because I keep hitting snags all over the place. So basically I want to attach this to the lip with that little piece that's on the top of the Marquee. I'm attempting to drill right into the acrylic, but it's not going to work. So again, you're just going to see me struggle with this, and you can kind of see it's not going to fit. I'm going to need to drill holes in the acrylic, which is really unfortunate because if you don't have acrylic drill bits, you're going to be kind of stuck here. Luckily, I have them, so I'm going to show you. Wow, I just keep trying, don't I? At least I'm... Oh, and there it goes. The backplate fell off. The thing I told you you don't want to happen. Anyways, we're going to need some drill bits. I'm going to go get them real quick so I can show you what they are. I'll put a link to the description. You see it can't drill through that. So I'm going to need to get these drill bits. I'm going to be back here in a second, and I'll show them to you. But these are going to be the things you're going to want. I'll put a link into the description so you have them. So I used my acrylic drill bit and did this. I'm really going to need to talk to Scott over at Arcade Game Factory. I don't know if he knows that this came out this way or if this was just a mistake, because every other Marquee I've got from him or had the pre-drill holes on the side. So if you are going to go down this path, just be really careful. You don't want to drill in too far because you will get shadowing and things like that, and you're going to get a little anyway. So anyways, just wanted to show you what that looked like, but we should be good to, screw this thing in now at this point.
Okay, so let's put the Marquee back in. Again, make sure you line up that back groove with this back plate, and that looks about right. Like I said, it's a little bit uncomfortable because it's hard to tell. Yeah, that's the screw hole, I can feel it. Let's see if this time it goes all the way through. Still needs a little bit more. I'm gonna try my more powerful drill. I might be able to get that through. If this guy can't get through it, then I don't know. Let's give it a shot. All right, that looks okay. So I'm gonna actually try to drive it in on the other side. I'm not even gonna pre-drill the hole. It's probably not the smartest move, but I'm gonna try it. Nope, not gonna happen. Gonna have to pre-drill a hole. All right, well, I'm gonna attempt to pre-drill it on the cabinet.
Oh my gosh, guys, finally. Okay, well, we got this done. Let's just at least light it up real quick, make sure it's all good. But man, this is like Marquee drama like crazy. I just want to be done with it. But all right, let's see what it looks like lit up. Okay guys, so I'm behind the cabinet, and if we did this all right, I'm gonna flip the switch and the Marquee should light up. All right, looks like it lit up. I'll give you my reaction on this. This film is a little bit different than what Tyler usually sends me. I feel like it's a little thin, and I don't know that it gives off the best picture quality, actually. I'm always really happy with Tyler's stuff. I'm just not so sure
I'm a big fan of this particular film he used for this marquee. I'm gonna roll with it. It's not, you know, it's not junk. It's just not as good as I would have hoped. So anyways, we'll get on to the more important stuff, but now we got a lit marquee. I wanted it to be off so you could kind of get a good idea. Let's talk about the control panel and what we could expect there. All right guys, so I want to point out a couple things I think you'll think are pretty cool. So it does have these cup holders, but there's something kind of unique about it. So hold on a second, I'm gonna switch something on really fast. I don't have this on a switch, but I'm gonna put it on a switch eventually. But it has these really cool green LED cup holders, so pretty neat. I don't know that I would keep them on all the time because they're very, very bright. I'll shut the lights off real quick so you guys can get a gauge of how bright they really are. So I mean, you guys can see it's pretty damn bright, but these are really cool. So I don't know if you guys know this about me. I have a super crazy sweet tooth. So my thought is one of them is gonna have a beer and the other one's gonna have like Sour Patch Kids or Mike and Ike's. Those are my favorite candies. So I'll put some of those in there and be able to, like, you know, kind of have some snacks while I game. But yeah, so I'm gonna shut those off, put the lights back on, and I'll show you a couple more things and maybe give you an idea of what it takes to configure this, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so I purposely left this disconnected so I could raise it up so you guys can see what it looks like underneath. So I'm gonna raise this up really quick. And if you look, you're gonna see, I didn't secure the encoder boards on purpose so you guys could see them. There's actually 4 encoder boards. I'm gonna bring the camera in closer so you guys can see this. Okay, so like I said, you got 4 encoder boards. And you're gonna need 4 if you're gonna do this with a Raspberry Pi RetroPi build. So all 4 of them are configured exactly the same way. Player up, down, left, right, A, B, and coin are all the same on all of these. That's really important. These encoder boards can be super finicky if everything's not configured exactly the same on each one. So make sure they're configured exactly the same. I use some cheap buttons on this thing. I really don't love LED buttons. I don't know if I've ever really said that, but I had some laying around from the other build and I was like, oh, it looks kind of cool, so I left it. But I'm not the biggest fan. The one issue I did have is you'll notice the graphics aren't on this plate, and I did let 99 Lives know and he's gonna accommodate for it in the future. If you put front buttons on it and you have the plate in the front that goes all the way to the top, it won't close, so you can't actually use the control panel. So I had to go and cut this on the jigsaw, and you guys know how awesome I am at jigsaw cutting, but for some reason I lucked out and it went perfect. So yeah, kind of weird, but it did work. So there's that front panel right there, and then everything will go down nice. I'll go around the back. I didn't clean this up before the video, so you'll notice you know, it's a little messy back there, but I want to show you what's going on back there really quick. And then we'll wrap the video up.
All right, guys, let's swing to the back of the cabinet. As you can see, nothing crazy. It's just a Raspberry Pi 3B, and I'm using all of the USB connections, as you can see. 3 of them are going to the encoders, and the other 4th one is going to this USB hub, and then one of those connections is for the 4th USB encoder, and one I'm using for a Bluetooth or a wireless keyboard to get into menus and such. So this system does single boot, and I'll leave instructions on how to do that. It just single boots into TMNT, the arcade game, which is kind of unique. I'm gonna actually put a front end on it eventually and have it boot both TMNT, the arcade game, and Turtles in Time. But for right now, it just boots into one. It just literally turns on and boots right into it. You don't see any kind of splash screen. You don't see any emulation station or any of that. It just boots right into the game. So that's about it for the back of the cabinet. I'm gonna go around front and we'll do some final thoughts and summary, and we'll finish this thing up.
All right guys, so it's final thoughts time. So what do I think about this custom control panel by 99 Lives? Well, first of all, I think it's freaking cool. I mean, how cool is it that there's a community, this modding community that's sort of been built around this Arcade1up product to pull off things like this? Now I realize that Arcade1up is gonna release their 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this is a little bit more custom, and so you may want something a little bit more detailed, or you may want to have different options that Arcade1up doesn't offer, and 99 Lives can provide stuff like that. So the quality's really good, I feel like the product's really good, and honestly it's really neat because you're dealing with the individual himself, the owner himself of the company, and he can pretty much pull off whatever it is that you want. So I told him I wanted the cup holders, and he put the cup holders in for me, and it's a really nice touch. So go check it out. I'm gonna put the link in the description to his website so you can see what other products he has to offer. I also think it's really neat that he has this collaboration with Tyler from Arcade Graphix, which is pretty well known in this Arcade1up community scene. And he's got custom graphics for this particular device. So it's like 2 companies coming together to offer something pretty unique and interesting. So guys, I'm gonna play this thing out. I'm gonna play a little bit of TMNT, and then you know, if you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to hit notifications so you can be informed of future video. And please put your comments below. I want to hear it. 99 Lives wants to hear it. Tyler wants to hear it. We all want to know what you think of this device. So I'm going to play some TMNT, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.